We're live on YouTube. Hello, YouTube.
Hey, YouTube. Are YouTubery?
This list sucks. This list sucks. This list sucks. This list sucks. It sucks.
Just go for it.
Hey, everybody.
Unabashedly. Welcome back to This List Sucks. I am JB.
Hey, I'm Mike.
Just-
And
Just the two of us today, I was going to say.
just the two of us. Yes. Okay. We should start. This is like the week of mea culpas.
Yeah.
We have to address a couple of things that were. One was, well, actually, they were both brought to our attention because I'm a dipshit and we didn't know what was happening on the video stream last week. So apparently the audio was kind of clipping out weirdly where people could hear Jen okay, but people couldn't hear us. And this was reported by multiple people. So we're really
It's a
sorry.
widespread issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
Maybe an overactive mic in California.
Could have been that.
Who knows?
Who knows?
It doesn't matter.
And the other part of it, Mr. Bobby Brown was listening to the podcast and found out about his own demise.
He was pissed when he found out that he was dead.
He was shocked. And yeah, he was running through a lot of scenarios in his mind.
Yeah. So now, not to try to defend myself, because Bobby Brown is definitely not dead, everyone. Bobby Brown is still alive, but Bobby Brown Jr. is dead.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes people that call juniors just by their first name. So
Yeah.
that's probably who you were talking about.
I mean, that's obviously who I was
Yeah,
talking
I figured,
about in
figured our
hindsight.
listeners could ascertain that much. No, but I had no. I think I agreed with you. I was like, yeah, for sure, he's dead. It's both of our faults.
a terrible thing to laugh at, but I mean, this is why we really need a production manager.
This is why we require that. Yeah.
Basically, we need somebody to just tell us as soon as we start making claims about somebody's demise.
Because it's not the first time, right? I can't remember who the other one was, but
I don't think it was the first time.
I think there was someone else that we said was dead.
I mean, we're just killing people on the show,
Killing 'em off.
unfortunately.
Yep. It's like Game of Thrones on this.
To the end of this 100
Exactly.
albums. Yeah. So Bobby Brown's alive. Not to take anything away. Did you ever go back and listen to that Whitney record since you didn't listen to that
A little bit. I didn't listen to it all the way through. That's a pretty funny story, though. I've told a few people that. To great laughter. I mean, that's the first time that's happened. Hopefully, the
I know.
last time that
I
it'll
know.
happen with any of us. But that's pretty confusing, though. Why would you name your first one Whitney Houston and your second one just Whitney?
Well, and just so that people know, there have been records on this list that like sometimes we can't find them. And so you and I collaborate. We're like, okay, where are we going to go of this record? Are we going to listen to? That way we're always talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
Never even occurred to me to be like, yo,
Hey,
you know
listen to
which
the right
Whitney
Whitney.
Houston, you know which Whitney Houston record for this?
I think I remember where it went wrong, too, because I was getting ready to pull it up. And I think I Googled like Whitney Houston, Whitney or whatever, based on like the Rolling Stone entry. And I think what came up was the Whitney, not the Whitney Houston. And I just
Yes.
pulled that up on like Wikipedia, started reading about it, pulled that up on Spotify. And then from there on out, I just pulled up Spotify and pulled up whatever my recently played Whitney Houston album was. So I remember the point, the fork in the road where I took the wrong path.
At least you listened to a good record.
It was
'Cause I
really
do
good.
like
Yeah.
Whitney.
I'm
Whitney's
surprised. Yeah. By the way, to spoil too much, but that's not on there. So I have a page of wasted notes,
good.
which is surprising. That album has a lot of really famous songs on it. I can't believe that's not on the list.
Relative to the other pop music that we've seen on this list, what do you think? Should it, I mean, you're advocating.
Yeah, I would say it probably should. I mean, it's got I Want to Dance with Somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know I keep going back to that one, but that's a very, very famous song from that era. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like huge. So
I'll be a little weirded out and angry if we wind up getting to like the Bodyguard soundtrack and it being on this list. Because it could be, because that was definitely Whitney's biggest hit.
What song?
I Will Always Love You. Her
Oh,
cover of that Dolly song, like that hit was a
That was monstrous.
monster.
Yeah, for sure.
And that record actually that soundtrack won the Grammy for Album of the Year.
Wow.
And
Maybe we will get
and
it.
that song won for, Record of the Year, whatever the fuck they call it in the Grammys, whatever they call songs.
Yeah.
Because Grammys are weird because they have Song of the Year, Record of the Year, Album of the Year.
So
Yeah, make heads
record
or-
is
Make heads or tails of that one, right?
record is different than song.
Yes.
What does record mean?
I think it means a plastic disc that you play using a stylus.
But why does that not? Why is that differentiated from
From a song?
album?
Yeah. I don't know, man. You'll have to ask
No
the
one can figure
fuckers at
this
the
shit out.
Grammys.
I just need another category. So yeah, we're apologizing for those missteps from last week,
Yeah.
and next week we'll apologize for the inevitable
For more
missteps tonight.
garbage from
Yeah.
this week.
Sure to happen.
Anything good happened to you this week musically? Did you discover anything? Did you find anything? Did you get any new records?
I did get some new records. I went to the record store
Ooh.
for the first time in a while. We were talking about that last time. I didn't get a huge haul, but I got a small but strong haul. Okay.
Ooh,
So
tell me.
one I got that I'm really excited about is I picked up Fishing for Fishies by King Gizzard Lizard Wizard.
Love it.
Do you have that one?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have the green vinyl one?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, it's a really, really cool.
Yes. It's a cool platter.
Yeah.
I recently picked up Nonagon Infinity from
Nice.
King Giz.
Very cool.
And remember how we were talking last week, how I was super excited about would they do something because of the way that they made the album like bookend front to
Yeah,
back?
did you check?
Yeah, no.
Nothing.
Fuckers.
Hard thing to pull off, I guess.
It is kind of a hard thing to pull off, but I do love King Giz. That one is my favorite record.
Nice.
Fishing for Fishies is.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite by them too. I'd love to find Infest the Rat's Nest on vinyl.
Ooh,
That would be a fun one.
I have that.
You have that?
I do.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So I got that, and then the other two I got were list records. So I got
Ooh,
Sly and the Family Stone Greatest Hits.
nice.
Picked that up.
Yeah.
That was from 150 albums ago or
A while
something.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. A while back, but a good one.
And then I picked up shit. What's the Creedence one that we had?
Cosmos Factory.
Cosmos. Picked up Cosmos. Surprisingly didn't have that. So
Dude, really, really enjoy that record.
yeah.
Really enjoy that record. I got my surprise record from the life draining forces of Amazon a couple of days ago.
Your surprise record?
I think I thought we talked about this. Like Amazon has this, it's almost like a record, like a vinyl of the month club, and they have different genres that you can subscribe to. And like the way that I discovered this was just through this one that they call the classics or whatnot. And so every month they just send me a record. And the cool thing is that if I already have it, I just take it down to the UPS store. I just return it on the app, take it down to the UPS store and give it back to them. But like I scored a couple of records that I really wanted that I didn't have, and they only charged me, I think they charged me like $22 or $23 a month. So
What?
Yes.
I don't think we have talked about that. I'm gonna
Oh.
like sign up immediately. That's
Well,
awesome.
just realize that you don't know what they're going to send you, and you could very well wind up having it. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like one of the things that they sent me was Dark Side of the Moon, and I already had Dark Side of the Moon. But one of the things they sent me that I didn't have was London Calling.
You didn't have London Calling.
No.
Wow.
And the reissue of London Calling is like fucking $42.
That's hefty. So you got a good deal on that.
I got a
one.
good bargain on that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the one that they just sent me was A Night at the Opera from Queen.
Oh, cool. Did you have that
Fucking-
already? Or
No, didn't have it. And I was
That's fun.
super stoked whenever I got it, because that's one of those records that we had seen multiple times at the record store. And I was always like,
Next time.
yeah, I'll get it next time. I'll get it next time. So it was nice to pick it up.
That's cool to know about. I don't think we have talked about that. I'm gonna sign up for that.
Well, and you should look, because I think there's other genres. So somebody like Lee Stamper, like I can almost promise you they have one for jazz.
Classical or okay for jazz.
For jazz. I can almost promise you they have one for classical music too. And I don't know if the price points change, but like I said, typically like with most of the stuff that they've been sending, it's been like that kind of bargain level where if you would have been buying it outright at like a smaller record store or even from Amazon themselves, you probably would pay like $30 to $35 because they're 180 gram reissues.
They're all brand new.
Yeah,
they're
all
all
brand new.
sealed.
Yeah,
All 180 gram.
Yep.
Well, that's pretty solid.
it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like a good proposition from the standpoint of like I'm not at risk of being stuck with the record that I already own.
Yeah, because you can just return it.
Just if I get one and I already got it,
I love
Fucking
it. I'm
pull up
signing
the
up.
app, return it, take it down to the shipping station.
You
know?
sold me.
Yeah.
You're
Go to
doing good work
Kohl's.
for
I'm
doing
doing
good work for Amazon.
Riley's gonna be pissed. Don't say that. Don't say that about me.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
I gotta figure out a way to sabotage them.
yeah.
Just
He's
so
like,
that
damn it,
Riley
more Amazon subscriptions. He has to deliver them via the mail.
Yes.
Hmm.
At least he doesn't have to urinate in bottles. I don't think.
No,
That's
is
a
that
good
what they do
thing.
at Amazon? Yeah,
Oh yeah.
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 They do some fucked up things. I mean, they definitely kind of killed a lot of people.
I don't know why I'm laughing at that.
I mean, because it's almost unbelievable. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what happened.
basically.
Yeah.
Well, what say you?
Should we dive?
We should
Should we
talk
jump?
about some Cocteau twins.
Cocteau twins. Oh, you know what I need?
Ooh.
My touch is right over here, so I'll be right back.
Do you want me to read?
Would you read the description?
Yeah. I think you're supposed to read 135 this week, but that's okay. We're going to start off this week. And just as a recap for everybody, if you're just joining the podcast for the first time, I mean, you could continue to listen, but there's a whole bunch of other records that we've done before this because we're working our way through the 500 greatest albums of all time, according to Rolling Stone. It's a fucked up list and it sucks. And that's what we're doing. So this week, we're going to start off at number 245. Discussing the 1990 album from the Cocteau Twins entitled Heaven or Las Vegas. Rolling Stone says Cocteau Twins were Scott Goths who helped invent the dream pop aesthetic that ruled UK indie during the 80s. Excuse me. Heaven or Las Vegas is their arrestingly beautiful pop peak, despite being released as the band itself was in turmoil, allegedly brought on by guitarist Robin Guthrie's drug addiction. Somehow they created something wholly transporting. Elizabeth Fraser's celestial soprano works like a vocal Rorschach test, gorgeously floating over Guthrie and Simon Ramone's magic hour instrumentation. What did you think about this guy?
So I was kind of talking to Mike a little bit about this before we started. This is one that usually it's the other way around, but I kind of liked it more my first listen than the second listen. And the reason is like it has a pretty solid first impression, especially with her vocals. And I will say that's the thing that I definitely love about this. Like she has a cool voice, and she uses it to great effect. But when you kind of really dig in on this, there's just not a whole lot going on a lot of these, in my opinion, especially with the backing. Like not a whole lot about the whatever's backing her up her vocals really excites me very much personally. Not to say it doesn't have value, but you know what I mean?
Source and derivative.
Yeah.
You don't get a band like Beach House without this record.
Probably not. Yeah, you don't get that whole dream pop genre.
But I like Beach House a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, Beach House is cool.
Yeah. So I don't know that it got any worse for me on subsequent listens. But it's not as though I unearthed anything remarkable on subsequent listens.
Yeah. The one thing I like about it a lot is, like I said, her voice. And I like the way they put it, a vocal Rorschach test, because you really cannot, it's pretty open to interpretation, like most of what she's singing is not about the lyrics at all, because you can barely understand them. Like she intentionally obscures them, especially I was reading on the earlier works. Like this one was heralded as more understandable.
That's exactly right. Everybody was like, wow, we can really tell what she's saying now.
Yeah. So it's more like her vocals are like another color on the sonic piece of art, and much less is she like really saying anything important. I mean, maybe she is, but you can't tell,
She definitely is though. So if you're a lyrics person and you're a woman in particular, because a lot of her lyrics are like flavored by the fact that she's a woman. So a lot of
and
stuff
that she
about
just had a baby, right?
motherhood, and having a baby and whatnot. And there's like, it's like, because I couldn't understand what she was saying, like I was trying to read them. Yeah. And some of those lyrics are really good. A lot of the songs aren't necessarily like really deep or anything, but there's a handful of them on here that do, and they're pretty powerful, when you think about the message that she's trying to get across.
Yeah.
What were your favorites?
Honestly, the ones that were my favorite, I liked because I was getting strong St. Vincent vibes from, and I really love St. Vincent. So I was like, oh, hell yeah. Sounds like St. Vincent. The first one I got that from was Ice Blink Luck. Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
The third one. I liked that one. You could actually kind of understand her vocals a little bit more. And she What I liked about that one was there were a couple of spots where she was doing these vocal runs on like one word that were just a little bit unique. You don't hear the way people like dance around a word the way that she was doing on that one.
I
So
love
like that
cherry.
one.
I love cherry colored funk. That was like the epitome
The
of
first
dream
one.
pop.
Yeah, I like that one too.
That's like super, super. It's textbut dream pop today, but yeah,
It was
I mean-
almost kind of shoegazy at first, like
Mhm.
lots of effects. And that's kind of what I mean. Like the guitar, I mean, it's all right throughout, but it never really blew me away, or it
No.
really felt like the feature. The feature felt like her vocals.
Her vocals were.
Yeah.
Her vocals were, because if you take that texture away from any of this, I think it becomes far less impactful.
Yeah, it becomes boring.
That cherry colored funk though, like that was the song. Like I gave that 4 stars, and I gave a handful of these other songs like 1 or 2 stars. That's pretty much how it went for me on this.
I liked Heaven in Las Vegas. I like the title track. I gave that one 3 stars. Had a pretty good hook on that.
Mm-hmm.
Good melodies. And I liked all the layers of the vocals. Like she was doing a really cool textural layering thing with her own voice, because I think she's the only vocal.
I think she is too, but I definitely I didn't put any stars next to that, because that was one where I made a note that the lyrics are wildly inane.
Yeah, probably.
Because that was just fucking word salad, like just nonsense kind of jumbled together so that she could
So that she could do her vocal thing.
so that she
Yeah.
could do her vocal thing.
I like Frou Frou Foxes and Midsummer Fires. That's the last
Fuck
one.
was that? Yeah, I did too. I put a couple stars next to that.
Me too.
It's got a really cool build up in it.
It does. Yeah, at the end of it. But yeah, 3 was like my highest starred song. None of these were real showstoppers for me.
The very first one.
You
But
loved that
again,
one.
yeah, I loved it. It because it reminded me of something that I would hear today.
Yeah.
And that to me is like, okay, that's cool, right? Because that
Mhm.
means that 31 years later, that's pretty timeless.
Yeah.
If 30 years later you listen to something, you're like, wow, that sounds like something that could have come out this week.
For sure.
So from that point, I dig it. But
Yeah, it didn't sound irrelevant by any means.
no, but I don't like it. I don't like it this high.
I don't like it this high at all either. I
At
think
all.
that this is way too high.
Yeah. And I mean, her voice is impressive, and this music came together in a really cool way, because obviously, well, or not obvious to everybody, like the band definitely, they blew apart shortly after this too, right? I think this was their last record.
Mostly because of a guitar player and his struggle with drug addiction, right?
Yeah. Apparently that guy liked to Herbert Hoover cocaine for a long period
while.
of time. Yeah.
They were together, right?
Yes.
The lead singer and
the lead
guitar
singer and the
player.
guitar player. Yeah. But that did not last either.
No, I think they were like, I remember reading that they were hopeful that her having a baby would kind of straighten him out, but it just made things worse.
It actually, yeah, it just spiraled him down deeper into his fucking mountain of Scarface-like behavior.
Yeah, indeed. Well put.
So, if I saw this on vinyl, I would probably pick it up and I would think about it maybe in the future. Maybe I'll warm up to it. But for now, for me, it's okay to have on this list, but I don't think it should be higher than 400.
I'm with you. 400 to 500. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to see it at the bottom, but this is way high.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
knows,
higher
maybe
than what
we're
it used to be.
Maybe we're just uninformed. I'm surprised I haven't heard of this one. At this point, when you get to this high, it's surprising to see anything you haven't heard of.
At least from the standpoint of artist, right? I would like to think that in the top half of the 500 greatest albums of all time, I would at least be able to recognize the artist.
Yeah,
and be familiar with something in their body of work.
for sure.
So from that standpoint, it's a little bit weird, but it's all good.
244. We have our second Kanye West album
Do
of
we have
6.
Do we have anything from Rex before we start blowing?
Oh,
along
yes,
too
we do,
fast?
exactly.
Oh, thank God,
Yes.
because I actually happen to know in advance how Rex feels about
The
808s
808s?
and heartbreaks. Yeah. So
Oh,
Rex,
wow.
we're gonna create a straw man of you and pummel it to death.
Get ready, Rex. Pucker up. All right. Here's Rex Todd on Heaven or Las Vegas. Heaven or Las Vegas. Cocteau Twins. What kind of high pitched hell is this? Why is this so low on the list? I hate this list. The lead singer sounds like a prepubescent Enya. I may have a new album to hate. If you find this album, hide your eyes and run into traffic. It's god awful.
Damn, Rex.
He did not like it.
Rex, when you talk to us next week, I want to know: are you into Beach House?
Yeah,
because is this a dream pop hatred, or is it just the warble that she has?
I think it's just it sounds like he doesn't like her voice.
Yeah,
prepubescent Enya.
That's harsh.
That is harsh. Truly, yeah.
Well, it
Okay.
is what it is. Thank you, Rex.
And we'll come back to Rex for sure.
Yeah, we will.
We will. So 244, like I said, our second Kanye West album of 6. 808s and Heartbreak from 2008. Part of Kanye West died in the fall of 2007 when his beloved mother, Donda, passed away. Soon afterward, his 18-month-long engagement to designer Alexis Pfeiffer fell apart. So when he returned in 2008 with 808s and Heartbreak, it was akin to watching an emotional purge and resurrection. Drenching his voice in auto-tune and turning his synths to their coldest settings, he sang of unbearable winters, shattered love, and endless nightmares. Part of West's healing was charting a path where the distinction between rapping and singing was beside the point. Within a few years, Drake and others picked up the torch he'd lit here and ran with it all the way to the top of the charts. You think the distinction is besides the point?
I wish we had an auto-tune setting like on the board so that way we could do this whole conversation in auto-tune.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That'd be fun.
Road, take heed. Put
Maybe
an auto-tune feature.
Maybe for the future.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the point or not, but I don't like it. It's
No.
not my thing.
Not at all.
I fucking hate auto-tune with a like strong fucking passion.
I feel like I most of the time don't like it. I will admit there are some times when I do kind of like it, which this is gonna be really surprising because I fucking, as you know, my opinion on Bon Iver, okay? But the song that Bon Iver is on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, where he's auto-tuned to the fucking T.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that fucking song. Lost in the World. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I think that's great. I don't know.
It's a deep cut, right? It's like one of the last tracks on the album.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite ones on that album. So I love that song. And auto-tune is used. That's different though, because I mean, even though I hate Bon Iver's voice, like we know he can hit the notes. You know?
Yeah.
It's not like he's relying on the auto-tune. It's more of an artistic textural thing. And it's used pretty heavily to the point that it's not like it's very obvious that it's there. And it's obvious that it's intentional that you can tell that, you know?
Yeah. I don't even know. Like, I don't know where to begin with this because this is
there's not a whole lot to like, in my opinion, on this.
This
one.
is not. It's not standard in any way, shape, or form
for Kanye.
Yeah, and it's weird because like the last record that we did was Jesus, and I lauded that record so much because of how experimental it was, and it doesn't sound like any other hip hop yada yada yada. I get it. This one did the same thing, but the difference for me, yeah, and it was unlike anything that had ever been heard before. Now, one thing that I don't like is like how this record gets credit for giving rappers like the ability to talk about more emotional things. I mean, I don't know. Like that seems like a lot of credit to be heaped for something that I don't think was necessarily intentional.
Yeah.
Meaning, I don't think that Kanye was looking at the body of rap and was like,
you know what?
Damn, dog. You know what? Nobody's talking about how they feel.
I think that he probably, I mean, it was obviously a cathartic record for him to make, you know, and I'm happy that he had that experience, you know,
but it's definitely not my thing.
Not at all.
It's fucking not my thing.
And we've talked about this, but what it kind of paved the way for a lot of artists that we're also not fans of. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
namely Drake is one of the big ones.
Yeah.
Kid Cudi, I tend to like that branch a little bit more. I think you do too.
I do.
But that
I loved Man on the Moon.
It's hard to say, was that really like a derivative of this? Because that must have come out in 2009. So which means he was probably already recording it, while this one was being recorded.
Is that when is that when Man on the Moon was released?
I'm gonna look it up because
Yeah,
it
do
can't have
that.
been. I remember it was really, really popular when I was in college, which was 2010, 2011.
Well,
It
this
was
was
huge.
they're calling this 2008.
Yeah, let me look this up.
So if it came out in 2010 or 2011, he would have been recording it 2009, 2010, that type of time frame. So
It was released in September of 09.
wow. So he's recording this when this came out. So that's an interest. That's fascinating because I read so much about how like that record in particular was talked about as that record could only come out because of 808 and Heartbreaks.
I don't know about that
Yeah, I don't know about that either.
because when did
'Cause
808
there's
come out?
no
What
way
time
that
of
he
the
wasn't
year?
recording that shit.
No way at all. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up and see when 808 came out. What? Yeah, I mean that was November
Yeah,
of
so
08.
this is like super late 08.
So
Kid
this
Cudi's
is
definitely recording all that stuff. But wasn't Kanye involved with Man on the Moon?
yeah, I think he was.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
right?
hmm it does, but I don't know if it's so much like this particular album.
Here's the thing though, Man on the Moon, yeah, it had elements of this in there, but it also was still very much a rap album.
Yeah, there's like maybe one
No, there's
song
not.
on here where I could pinpoint that he's like sort of kind of rapping a little.
Not
tiny
where
bit.
he is.
No,
Kanye does no rapping on the well.
I feel
That's
like I
not
wrote
true.
on Heartless that he's kind of rapping at one point.
I don't think you can say that on Heartless. I think the closest is Tokyo Story.
Yeah, which was not even a song.
No, it was cool though.
Honestly, that was kind of cool. That whole thing was improvised.
Yes.
Concert in Singapore.
And the way that he did that with that giant fucking delay on his vocals, like the
Yeah.
way that he created the meter and like he's creating the beat using the delay in that, and that was fucking slick, dude.
Yeah, the only instrumentation was like ambient.
Like ambient noise.
Yeah.
And then his voice over that delay.
Very dark. This whole album is very dark.
It
Very
is.
somber.
Yeah. But that freestyle, that live performance on the end of this record, like when you see Kanye performing well, that like he's good.
But
Really
even that was
fucking
mostly
good.
singing, right? And there's not a whole lot that I would call rapping on that.
No, but it at least had a rapper, like a more rap style verse structure to it,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. It wasn't rapping though.
But
Like,
it
let's
was
not-
good. I agree with you 100%. Yeah.
It was I mean, okay. Let's cut to the chase here, Mike. Heartless, I put 4 stars next to.
Wow.
Maybe it's because I got fucking bludgeoned to death with that song over the radio, but
That is a solid
it's a good
chorus.
song, dude.
Like the
It's a good hook.
It's
That's
good.
right.
It's really good. I put 3 on it.
Yeah. I do like Amazing.
I put 2 on Amazing. I really do not like Jeezy's voice at all. Not a fan. So that
Particularly.
yeah.
I do like Lil Wayne though. I do like Wheezy. And that was like one of my favorite parts of this whole record is with the track with Wheezy on it. Like he's the only person on this entire record that sings with no auto tune. At one
No
point.
way.
Yes.
No, I made notes about him being like I was like Lil Wayne auto tune,
There's a portion of it that's auto tuned,
but then there's some that's not.
but then there's some that's not.
Okay, because that
Because
song's
there's no
called-
way that auto tune could handle like the way that he goes. Like there's no way for
You
auto
sounded
tune.
exactly like him right
I
there.
know.
I mean, honestly, that was spot on.
But there's no way for auto tune to be able to modulate that. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
And that's why I don't think
don't know what the fuck to do with that. We can't even hit our algorithm can't handle
the algorithm is like error. It's like trying to divide by fucking 0. The algorithm just implodes mildly for a second.
Solution is unsolvable. Yeah, I mean, because that song is called "See You in My Nightmares," and I was like, I wrote, "Jesus, Lil Wayne auto-tune. This truly is my fucking nightmare."
Yes. So he starts off on that on auto tune, but then he breaks away, and there's definitely a section of that where there's no auto tune.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah, but I did like the hook on that.
Yeah, I mean, on "See You in My Nightmares."
Yeah,
Yeah, I think Yeah, I didn't like the rest of it. I liked like this the synth the synth portion of it, like the backing beat, but I didn't
Mhm.
really like anything that was happening vocally for me.
I did make a note on Paranoid, which is a handful of songs after like Heartless and Amazing. I did make a note on there that it felt like this was like a new wave track of hip hop.
Yeah, with Mr. Hudson on it.
Yeah.
He was pretty good. He had his voice.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hate Love Lockdown.
Yeah, I didn't
I
hate
thought it was
either.
a pretty okay chorus.
The beat was cool.
Cool minimalist style of production, you know, and some just definitely good rhythmic work like throughout, like the way he plays with rhythm. He does some okay beats.
The fucking dude, the effects on his voice in Love Lockdown was just fuck. It was so much, dude. It was too much.
On Kanye's voice.
Yeah. Just so fucking much, dude.
And some of these songs for me were just too long and kind of rambling. Like a lot of them, like the very first one, it seemed like a really, really weird choice for an opening track. Like it was a lot of it was just long, empty space, is what it felt like.
Yeah.
I mean, not even a whole lot going on musically.
No, there's like 6 minutes. It's a fucking 6-minute track too, you know. So by the time that you get to like your second break of 30 to 40 seconds of ambient space, you're just like, this is going nowhere real fast.
Yeah. This is getting me real pumped up for this album.
I know that there are people that absolutely adore this record, that think that it's the best record that Kanye ever did. And for all those folks, I'm super thrilled that they enjoy it. This is not my jam.
This is not my thing at all either. And
I don't want it on the list.
I was about to say that the people that, you know, just the fact that there's 6 Kanye albums on this list, they don't all need to be on there. And this is one that does not need to be on there at all.
I think at least 2 need to come off.
Yeah.
And this is
first one coming off.
Absolutely. Fucking absolutely.
Yeah. This is first priority.
Yeah, at a bare minimum. And again, if you want to keep the Drake records on, and if you want to keep all those derivatives on, do it. Because even though I don't like Drake, I would probably rather
that's a hard one. I was about to say, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I might actually take this.
Yeah, I might take
over
this
that Drake record that we had.
Yeah, over a Drake record, but I don't know. It's just not. I feel I don't even know what to say, because it feels like we're celebrating. I don't know. I don't feel like this is a celebration of like anything super positive and good.
Yeah, it's not at all. It's just Rolling Stone loving Kanye West.
I mean, that's what it feels like. But
yeah,
let's get a contrary opinion.
Let's do it. I was about to say. So Rex Todd on 808s and Heartbreak. I ain't even mad at this album. It's pretty damn good. I've been a fan since the College series, as have we. It's impressively produced. He did a hell of a great job putting this together. I don't even mind that it's an escape from what he had been putting out. It's a great listen, with Paranoid being one of my favorite tracks. So he liked Paranoid. Yeah.
Did I like Paranoid? I kind of like.
Yeah, Paranoid. You kind of liked Paranoid a little bit.
Yeah, the beat was fun. Oh yeah, because that was a new wave jam.
That was the new wave one. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to buy this on vinyl.
Do you have any Kanye on vinyl?
I do. I have College Dropout, and I have Yeezus.
Good.
Fucking that Yeezus vinyl was a score.
What is the cover on that?
It looks like a compact disc case.
Okay. Yeah, because it came out on CD, like too.
Yes.
And it was literally just a compact disc.
Yes, right? Exactly. It was just blank. Yeah. Because it was supposed to be a riff on Prison Tapes.
Yes. Yeah. I think we talked about that when we did Yeezus.
Yeah, when we did Yeezus. Yeah.
That's cool.
And I don't have My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy yet, which just seems fucking ridiculous.
Seems asinine.
And I would also like to get Graduation too, because Graduation is fucking wonderful.
I would get College Dropout and Late Registration too. I mean, if I came across them.
Yeah. I have College Dropout. Those first 2, Late Registration and College Dropout, are not my favorites.
Well, they're kind of before he really set himself apart, you know?
Yeah. I mean, Graduation was the culmination of those first 2 records. And then from there, it either got really weird, right? Like Far Stranger, because he started going in different directions, or like the real stride was My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. In
Yeah.
my mind, that's the epitome. And hopefully that's the highest Kanye record. I
Was
very
that right
sincerely hope so.
after graduation?
Yeah, I think it came out in 2007.
And then this was next.
Yeah.
And then Yeezus.
Yes.
And then it all went downhill from there.
Life of Pablo's all right.
And then
There's some really cool tracks on Life of Pablo.
do you like Donda?
I haven't listened to it yet. Is it out yet?
Oh yeah. It's been out.
Has it?
Yeah.
I thought that was the one that. Oh no, Donda 2 is what's getting ready to come out because he's getting ready to drop another one.
Is he really?
Yeah,
Yeah, Donda's been out for like almost a year, I think.
yeah, I think you're right, but I haven't even listened to it yet.
Yeah. I haven't really either. But the one review I have is it's bad. So my barber doesn't like it. Barbers do not like Donda. Yeah, it came out in August of 2021. Uh-oh. Mishap over there. Someone forgot to take their vitamins this morning, this mic stand. Okay. So we're not gonna keep it on the list. We want this
No.
one off.
Yep. Want it gone. Make room for something better.
Yes.
All right. Shall we move on to number 243?
Let's do it.
Let's talk about the 1968 album from the Zombies, Odyssey and Oracle. Rolling Stone says the Zombies broke up 2 weeks after they completed Odyssey and Oracle in December 1967, and the album wasn't released in the US until 1969. But its Baroque psychedelic pop arrangements continued to exert a powerful influence, particularly on whimsy-loving indie rockers. Recorded in London at both Abbey Road and a Stone's Haunt Olympic Studios, Odyssey combined the adventure of Sgt. Pepper with the concision. Yes, of British invasion pop. And Time of the Season went on to become a number 3 hit. I've never even heard of
Went
that
on
before.
to become a number 3 hit.
A number 3 hit.
That's something to be celebrated, I guess.
The
I mean, it's
fuck,
better
Rolling
than
Stone.
number 4. But in the words of Ricky Bobby's dad, if you ain't first, you're last. So
Walker, Texas Ranger. Get over here. What did you think about the Zombies? Were you familiar with this?
I was familiar with Time of the Season.
Yeah, everybody
Which
was.
everybody is, you
Yep.
know. Not the rest, and not really familiar with the band in general. I thought that, I mean, this album is fiercely decent, in my opinion, you know.
Fiercely decent.
Fiercely decent. Yeah. I don't really know that this brand of like British art, Baroque rock, is really necessarily my thing. The closest thing we've had to compare it to thus far has been the Kinks, right? Probably.
No, what the fuck was that? Yeah. Yep.
'Cause we've had 2 Kinks records,
Yes.
one of which was very similar to this.
super similar to that. The one with all the like animal songs and shit like that on
Yeah.
it, right?
Which
I
I
don't
think
remember the
I
name of that
probably
record.
liked that. I mean, I didn't. I feel pretty much the same about both of those. I like them, and you know, they definitely have their place. It feels a little. Some of this definitely feels a little Beatles knockoffy to me.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. Did you love it?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say that I love it, but I have a lot of stars. I
Yeah.
have a lot of stars all over
There's
this
some
place.
stars. There's more than there were on 808s.
Well, yeah, significantly more. The thing that shocked me about this that I wasn't necessarily prepared for were all of the harmonies.
Dude, it is
The harmonies
rife.
were
Yeah.
spectacular.
And it's like they're good too. They're really
Yeah.
good. There's a lot of vocalists because I can hear some different timbres, some different voices.
It feels like there's at least 4 different vocalists.
Yeah. And there's way more layers than that, you know. So they were definitely doing
Yeah.
some overdubbing, which in 68, I mean.
Although I was reading about the recording of this, and because the band was basically falling apart and the studio came to them and the studio had basically told them, listen, fuckos, you fucking figure this out or you're done. And so they put this thing together shockingly quickly in the studio. Like they weren't in the studio for a ton of time. And that's the other thing that kind of impressed me about it was after just reading about how ramshackle this thing was thrown together, because it really was in the death throes of this band. Fuck, dude. Like they should have held on for just like a little bit longer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I mean, like I said, I was really impressed.
There are some songs
Shocked
I
by the
really like.
harmonies.
The harmonies were good. There were some songs I really did like. I loved the first one, The Care of Cell 44.
Mhm.
Cool lyrical theme too. It's basically like a guy writing to someone who is in prison and like excited about their about to get out of prison, and you know.
I wrote it felt like a British Haight Ashbury to me. Like that's what it
Isn't that the Beatles though?
the hate was more kind of like more I mean the Beatles were psychedelic, but not psychedelic the way that Jefferson Airplane was or the way that the Dead was. Does that make sense?
You thought this was closer to those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely
I can
closer
see.
to Jefferson Airplane. Like psychedelic pop really is what it is, or at least that's kind of how I felt like a lot of this was.
And I think I liked the more psychedelic ones, but there were definitely ones that were more on the side of pop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I Want Her, She Wants Me, you know, as an example.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that felt like knockoff early Beatles, like early Beatles knockoff, you know.
Yeah. And I totally understand where you're coming from there. A ton of really good bass work on this record though.
Yeah.
Like a lot of surprisingly good bass work. Because I made a lot of notes about the bass.
I made a lot of notes about the bass, and I made a lot of notes about the keys player. There were some good organs, some good piano parts,
Mm-hmm.
and there was some cool guitar stuff. Like on the one thing that I noted about "Hung Up on a Dream" is there was like a really cool, like composed guitar melody.
Yeah.
That was a pretty featured part.
Yeah, literally my first note is kind of sweet little guitar part with vocals over the top. You know, and it's not as in depth necessarily on that one that you get on some of the other harmonies, but I dug it. I liked Beechwood Park a lot. Um, I mean, I like that just as much like Care of Cell 44. Cell 44 is a great song.
I liked Rose for Emily. I liked
Mhm.
the first one that I really liked after Care of Self 44 was Brief Candles.
Yes. I put 3 stars next to that.
Same.
And that bass line is dope on that. And
Yeah,
the,
really
like,
good.
the Moog, that's where like that organ that you were talking about, I'm assuming that's like, because I really liked what the keyboards were doing there. I thought it was
Yeah, there was piano and like organ later on. I liked that one a lot. I liked Changes. Okay. Oh, that was pretty good. A note that I made on that was like first of all, the melodies and the writing on this album is fucking fantastic. Like
Yeah.
they write some really, really good songs. Like
Mhm.
so the songwriting is there, you know.
Yeah.
I just not sure that I'm in love all the time. The vocal harmonies are very good. You know what I mean? But just not sure that I was as in love personally with the packaging. But that's not to say anything about the album's merits, just personal thing. But yeah, good, very good melody on Changes. I liked Butcher's Tale, Western Front, 1914. That was really interesting because that was very minimalist. That was basically an organ and a vocal line, and it was a well-written song.
Yeah. It was a little bit over the top for me.
Like thematically, or
yeah, just thematically and like where they were going with that. It felt so out of place relative to the rest of the record.
it was definitely unique. It was kind of
It
its
was
own
weird.
animal. Yeah,
It didn't, I mean, I didn't put any stars next to it
I put
just
3.
because it was so jarringly different than everything else. I just didn't even know what the
Didn't
fuck
even
to
know
do
what
with it.
think.
I literally, what the fuck? That was my first comment.
Do you like Time of the Season?
That fucking song is spectacular. Yeah, I put 5 stars next to
You
it.
put 5.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Put 2.
Why? Is it overdone for you?
It's not even that. I've just never really loved it. But again, like this is the thing where like it's like I can see. I'm not saying it's bad. It's a very well written song. I just don't like it that much. You know,
That song in particular, like that song to me, that's I don't know, that's very fucking like freedom rock. Like turn it up, man. Yeah, play some of that Time of the Seasons, would you?
yeah.
Especially with the
fantastic
Moog in there.
harmonies on that,
Like,
and the verse is cool.
yeah,
You know?
I dig it, dude.
It's good. I
I
mean,
know.
it's just not like I'm not ever going to be like, you know what? Let's put on Time of the Season. I want to hear that song right now. Like it's just not one of my. I just don't want to listen to it that much.
I mean, I don't know that I would ever be like, yo,
You got
find that
fucking
zombies
shit?
disc,
Yeah.
dog. I mean, I don't know that I would ever pull that, but if that song came on, I'd be like, fuck yeah, dude. Crank that shit up.
What is cool? There's a badass like organ solo at the end.
I
of it. It's, like,
know.
2 different organs and
I
they're
know. It's fucking killer, dude.
going at each other. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what I want to do with this. So first of all, if I find this on vinyl, I pick it up
I pick it up
because
too.
like this seems like it would be a fun record just to spin.
And it has a really cool cover.
A super cool cover. Hopefully
So-
that should be a badass gatefold. In terms of where this should go, if I remember correctly, which considering that I was the one that said that fucking Bobby Brown was dead last week, I'm not giving myself very much credit in terms of remembering. So I'm going to look this up. But if I remember correctly, on the very first rendition of this list, man, I want to say this thing was like close to 100.
Oh, I have it right here. I wrote it down.
Okay, you did.
It was 100. It's number 100.
It was number 100. Okay. Yeah. So it's already come down considerably. Where are you going to move it to? Because clearly you're going to move this motherfucker way down the line.
I mean, I'm not going to move it far down as Cocktail Twins. I'd probably put it down 50 to 75.
Okay, so 300-ish.
Yeah. I mean, it's an influential record.
Is it though?
I mean, Rolling Stone would have you believe that it is. It exerts a powerful influence, particularly on whimsy-loving indie rockers. But I don't know. But I don't know. I wasn't influenced by it. Were you?
No. And when
There you
I
have it.
listen to it, I don't even necessarily know that it like informs any one particular band.
It sounds like that style of music. It sounds like 60s Baroque pop from England.
It sounds like Summer of Love. It sounds like British Summer of Love to me. Right? Because that's what it is. It's a British Summer of Love music.
It's exactly what it is.
But I think that it's exceptionally well done. I think the songwriting is astounding. I think the fucking vocal harmonies on this, like
They're good. They're really good.
There were some points in time where like I was thinking about the Beach Boys a lot as I was listening to this, because I think that that's the only other place where you get kind of really, really complex male vocal harmonies like that, you know, that sound like this. And
Yeah, because like I was thinking like the Beatles, but the Beatles usually they don't do a whole lot of like
it's mostly two-part harmonies.
They don't do a whole lot of synthetic layers. Sometimes there's three, but
yeah, sometimes there's three with George, but
most of like they don't like do a whole lot of overdubbing, you know, like they just pretty much sound like
the Beatles
plus the wall of sound.
Yeah. I wouldn't be upset if this was at 300. But I don't necessarily hate it where it's at. I would have hated it at 100. I feel like 100 is way too high. I feel like
we would have been like, what the fuck at 100?
Yeah, I feel like 200 is way too high, but I don't think that 250 is out of order. And I don't think we're all that far away from it. Only because, again, the songwriting I think is really good, and the execution on this is really, really good.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Yes, that is absolutely true. It's well executed.
So
good harmonies, good playing. I mean, it's all good on paper, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not the way it comes out is, like, again, I don't feel particularly strongly about this, like really either way.
I feel you.
Know?
I know. Like, I think I know where your brain's at. Yeah. I think I know where it's at. What does Rexy Poo
Let's
think
see where
about
Rex
it?
Brain is at.
Yeah.
Odyssey and Oracle. Really? Okay. Easy to listen to. Bubblegum pop from the late 60s. This is an album that parents would listen to be hip with the kids. That's exact. Yeah. I get it.
That's a good call.
Yeah. I completely understand what Rex is saying.
Yep.
Unfortunately, not a lot of kids were listening to it. It's not a bad album, but it is not mid 200s material. So he's kind of right there with us, sort of.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's probably closer to you.
Yeah.
Than what he is to me.
Yeah.
Because I can halfway justify it here. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. Well, let us know what you think about the Zombies. If you love them.
Yeah.
It just seems like a band that no one's like, not to keep like I said, I don't feel particularly strong about it. I would be really surprised if someone felt really strongly about it. Someone was like, "Man, I fucking love the Zombies, dude." like it just doesn't seem like a band that would inspire that sort of reaction, you know?
I mean, I'm sure that some insanely rabid zombie fans out there. Come find us.
Dude, there.
Come find us.
Yeah. Insanely rabid zombie. Okay, come find us, guys. Let us know why I'm stupid. Because there are plenty of reasons, I'm sure. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Okay, 242. The one I was probably most excited to get to this week, which is The Velvet Underground Loaded,
Mhm.
1970. The Velvet Underground made their most accessible album in 1970 during a summer alternately compromising triumph and stress. Drummer Maureen Tucker was on maternity leave. Excuse me. Singer, guitarist, songwriter Lou Reed quit in August before the record was even finished, but Reed left behind a pair of hits, Sweet Jane, Rock and Roll, two of his finest ballads, New Age, Oh Sweet Nothing, and a record that highlights the R&B doo-wop roots and Sun Records crackle buried deep inside the Velvet's noir guitar maelstrom.
It's a
I
gem.
love this one. I love this
This is a
entire
gem.
record. Yeah.
It's weird to think that this record is so close to noisy white light,
White noise,
Lightning.
white
White
noise,
lightning.
white heat.
white lightning.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. It has some of those words in the title.
It's weird that these two albums are this close to each other. Because
In
I
terms
think
of
that,
on the list or in
Oh,
terms
yeah.
of release?
no, in terms of being on this list, it's
Because the other
shocking
one was
to
what,
me.
50 ago or more?
I don't
It wasn't 100 ago.
know. I thought it was like 267.
It could have been. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I'm looking it up because I'm pretty sure it was.
Well, I'll wait.
It was not that far ago.
You are good with numbers.
Oh, son of a bitch. Just stop. All right. And these records are not particularly close to each other in the order. Fuck. 352.
Okay, so it was a while ago.
Fuck yeah, Jesus, holy Christ. That was a long time ago.
So it was over.
Like a
100 ago.
super long time ago.
Yeah.
What the hell
That's
happened to
more
the
than I
last 100
expected.
records? Yeah.
Flew by.
Man, they flew by.
It really did.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I still don't know where. I still think it's probably too low, honestly.
Oh,
on this
fuck yeah.
list.
Because what was it at before? What was this one? Wait, you talking about White Light, White Heat or this one?
Yeah. Oh, no. Wait, no. 272. Okay, so it was listed at number 292 on the 2003 list of the greatest albums of all time, slipped to 293 in 2012, and then climbed back to 272 in 2020.
So you were a few off, but you were very close.
Not too far.
Not too far at all. Yeah. You're
So
closer than I was.
These two are way too fucking close to each other.
So you think that this one should be shot to the top? That's what you're saying.
Well, when we did the other one, I felt like that was way too high.
It
In
was
fact,
too
I don't
high.
even know that I wanted that on the fucking list. And like, I'd have to go back and listen to the tape, but I don't think I necessarily was super supportive of it being on the list.
Well,
But I am going to tell you that I think that this one's too low.
yes, this one is far too low. Because you said it was at 110 before. I know I already asked you that. Sorry.
Yes.
One around there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this is a 110 album, for me. This is that high. This album is fantastic.
Yeah. 110 in 2012.
Yeah. This is probably my favorite Velvet. I mean,
You like it more
maybe
than
Nico. It's hard because
Nico's
Nico was
fucking
their
good,
very
dude.
first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Nico's so good.
Nico is fucking great. And we're going to get to talk about Nico. 'cause
Yeah, I
it's
know,
a
because
lot
we haven't
higher.
got to it yet.
It's way higher than this.
Fuck yeah.
I think it's like maybe higher than 110 or something like that. It's like
I'm sure
around
that
there.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this just as much though, really. I mean, if not more, I like it just as much.
This one's way more accessible.
Than I feel
Nico.
like Nico is way more, well,
Nico's just more well known.
it's more accessible
don't
than White
think
Light,
it's-
White Heat.
Yeah.
Nico.
Yeah. But I don't think it's as accessible as this record.
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely some songs that are basically pop rock songs, but done so well and done in the Lou Reed style. you
Yeah.
know? There's really only one song on this that I just don't feel that strongly about. The rest of them I fucking love. And the one song that I just don't care that much about is Train Around the Bend.
Train Around the Bend.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't put any stars next to it.
Me neither. Yeah.
Not because it was bad, but just because I kind of don't give a shit about it.
I don't care that much. There was nothing to really grab my attention. I wrote, you know what? I love the sound of this band playing
Mhm.
together. So I'm not like mad that I'm listening to this song. But beyond that, there's nothing like special here for me. But every other song I love. I literally love every other song. Who Loves the Sun? Fantastic starting song.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool, like chromatic thing that they do in the chord progression.
Yep.
Love that one. Sweet Jane, classic fucking song. There's several 5 stars on here for me. Sweet Jane is a 5-star,
4.
like no doubt.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
I love everything about Sweet Jane. I love the lyrics. I love the crazy psychedelic intro. I love the chord progression. I love it all. Rock
Yep.
and roll, 5 stars.
4.
4? 5s?
Yeah. Oh, Sweet Nothing.
Oh, Sweet Nothing.
Oh, Sweet Nothing's my 5. Yeah. But honestly, I could have given Sweet Jane and Rock and Roll 5 stars.
Yeah.
You know?
The 3 5s I had. So I had Sweet Jane, Rock and Roll, and Oh Sweet Nothing. Although I found a reason. I love Head Held High. That's epic. That gets almost like gospel at the end.
I know. It's crazy.
I love New Age.
I
Really,
love
really
New
cool
Age.
placement for that.
Yeah. I love Cool It Down. Fucking Cool It Down is really, really good.
Cool It Down is dope. That was a 4-star for me.
Yep.
For you too?
Well, so all mine are basically ratcheted down from yours, is what
One
I
down.
think I did. Yeah, because I gave Who Loves the Sun 3, Sweet Jane 4, Rock and Roll 4, Cool It Down 3, New Age 3. I found a reason I gave 4, and then Oh Sweet Nothing 5.
Yeah, I found a reason is really cool.
Yeah.
I love just the Cool It Down. The she's got the power to love me by the hour. That's such a classic line. I love that. And I found a reason is a cool, really cool ballad.
Yes. The vocals are fucking so cool.
Heartfelt, simple.
Yeah. So
powerful.
cool.
Oh
The
Sweet
arpeggiated
Nothing.
chords are so fucking wonderful, and I found a reason to.
Yeah, they are. And then Oh Sweet Nothing, man. That is such an amazing song.
Yeah.
Killer closer to a fantastic album. I love the build at the end. There's like one point where they stop doing the chord progression towards the end and they just hold on one chord and there's like this big snare drum and it just builds up and it's epic. I mean,
It's so cool.
like you're gonna get chills when you listen to that, you know.
It's a wonderful track, and it's such a unique and cool way to close an album that you don't. I mean, there's never a point outside of Train Round the Bend, right? Because I kind of agree with you. Like, that was a song. The note that I made on that is that it felt like they were trying to make a radio hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it felt like they were trying, and it just didn't quite
Didn't work.
cut it. Just didn't quite make it.
That's amazing though to only have one thing like that. And it was obvious between the two of us. We were like, you knew which one I was talking about.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep, without a doubt. All right, now let's get back to the fun part of the debate. Oh, I'm gonna say you have this on vinyl, right?
Actually, no.
Fuck, dude, I don't have this on vinyl either.
I thought I did.
I was kind of shocked, actually.
I thought I did. And then when I was doing my alphabetization the other day, yeah, whatever word that you know what I'm trying to say. I was like, shit, do I really not have Loaded? So I thought I did, but I only have Nico. That's the only one I have.
Wow.
Do you have Nico?
I don't
But you have
any
white
Velvet
white heat.
Underground.
No,
No.
just kidding. Yeah,
I will definitely get this reissue if I can find. I mean, I don't think this would be too hard to find on vintage vinyl. If you wanted to do it vintage, I think it'd be pretty easy to find.
I've looked for it, like
Really?
a lot.
And it's kind of a pain in the wiener to find.
Yeah.
Not the easiest thing going.
Yeah, like I've definitely looked for it like throughout my entire vinyl career and not had any luck.
Well, I'm not going to play that bullshit game. I'll just fucking buy the reissue.
Yeah.
Because I don't mind 180 gram reissues.
You
They're
don't.
fine.
Yeah.
No, what the fuck do I care? I just want it to sound good. And I know it's going to sound good.
It's got to sound.
In fact,
good.
it might even sound better than a vintage one if it was a vintage one that got just beat to
Got
shit.
Beat to shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't mind.
I think my Nico might be a reissue actually. I'm fairly sure it's a 180 gram. Is 180 gram a newer thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so then it must be because I'm pretty sure it's 180 gram.
Yeah. Which is
Interesting.
cool because it's better.
Yeah, it is better. It's heavier. It's thicker.
Yeah, it's heavier and it's thicker and it's less chance that it's going to warp and create warble and shit like that. So
Mhm.
vintage vinyl is fun, but better is better. So fuck it.
That's exactly right. Better is better at some
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
So we both
Where-
love this one. I
Where-
want this
what
one.
are you going to do with it? You want it back at 110? You want it higher than 110?
I want it between 120 and 75.
Man, that's super specific.
I didn't even think about that. That just came right out, but it just seems like
Man, that's super specific.
I didn't even think about that. That just came right out, but it just seems like the right answer. Like I'm gonna stand by that.
It's hard because, and we're getting into stuff. We're getting into really, really good records now.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, like these last couple of weeks have been weird, but like I think we both cheated pretty far in advance at this point in time, and there's really good stuff that's coming our way. You
Yeah.
know? So I don't even know what it's going to look like when we get to 140 to 150, but that's where my gut tells me. Like I want to see this move up at least 100, but I want to reserve any further. I want to reserve anything further beyond that.
Yeah.
You know, because I suspect that by the time we get to those, I'm sure that there are going to be records that we both agree, what the fuck? Like, why is this here? This is lame. This doesn't seem right. Seems way too high. Because we've seen that on the flip side, right?
Yeah.
So we have to see that on the overrated
Yeah.
side, but
Logic would suggest.
there has to be something up there that we're going to call bullshit on.
Yeah.
Hopefully not, but I'm sure there will be. But until we get there, I'll be kind of curious to see what I would be tossing out to plug this in.
To put this in there.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be some options.
Yeah. And we'll have to try to remember that. We'll have to remember some of these records that, and I think we've done a pretty good job of that with stuff that we've already seen in the 4s and like in the 400s and 300s or whatnot. But we'll have to try to do an even better job as we get deeper down the list to try to think about some of these, especially in the 200s.
Some of the
we
ones
feel
that we
like they've been, because we feel like there's been at least a collection, and maybe that's what we got to do is when we get to the end of this 100, maybe put some stars next to what we feel like are snubs in terms of placement.
Yeah.
Just so that way, when we do get higher up into the list, we can kind of bounce some of those around and say, yeah, what the fuck? Why don't you swap these? Or why don't you swap these?
Yeah.
You know, because there could be some of that.
Yeah. Remember, we need to be able to see them all. Like we need a spreadsheet or like a printout where we can be like, this obviously needs to move up here.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure we'll do something like that a little later.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. After we're done with all of this shit, then maybe we'll have to do like a big board episode where we just print them all off and just like stack them all around. Great record though. If you haven't been exposed to it, fucking
expose
change your
yourself
life
immediately.
Yeah, change your life because this is an absolute gem. Is this your favorite Velvet?
It's between this and Nico, which is probably like a cop out answer almost, but
it is super cop out. Commit to one or the other. Because I'm going to commit to Nico. I enjoy Nico more than I enjoy this one, but that's not necessarily doesn't mean shit. It's just my dumb opinion.
I love Nico. Nico is one of my if you had like a list of the highest played records that I have, Nico is probably in the top. But I think I'm gonna go with Loaded because it probably would be higher if I had it. You know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
it's a banger.
I'm doing it. Let's see what Rex has to say.
Yeah,
I think it's that's that one right there.
This one?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so Rex Todd on Loaded Velvet Underground. He said, "Did I miss something? Was there a memo put out that I didn't read? I had what? I had really high hopes for this week. So far, it's just a disappointment. This isn't a bad album. Easy to put on and forget it's playing. A good white noise album, if you will. This motherfucker. Yeah, we get it, Rolling Stone. Lou Reed is great. Mid 200s material? Absolutely not. Mid 300s, definitely. Rex, you're high as fuck, buddy. You're on crack.
That's an interesting take. That's a super interesting take.
I did not expect that. I thought Rex was going to love it.
I didn't expect that either.
Go do it. Do it. Finish her off.
You say so.
That is surprising, man. That is really surprising.
It's all right. Listen, as much as we might love him, sometimes he's just fucking dumb.
He's a little misguided occasionally. Yeah.
I love you, buddy.
We love you. We love you, Rex.
All right. Last record for the week, 241 from 1991. The birth of trip hop. Massive Attack's record, their debut record, Blue Lines. Rolling Stone says, perhaps the first post hip hop masterpiece. Blue Lines combined rap, dub, and soul that gave birth to trip hop. If you ever found yourself in a chill out room in 1995, this album was probably on, and it can still suck you into its gravitational pull. In the UK, where acid house and jungle were the dominant sounds, its creepingly slow ambience knocked the music world on its back. Quote, what's important to us is the pace, end quote, said the band's 3D. The weight of the bass and the mood.
Did you ever find yourself in a chill out room in 1995?
Luckily, no.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I say luckily because I think a chill out room is a place that I'm going to go if I'm just like out of my fucking mind on something and I need to chill the fuck out.
Yeah. That's kind of what that sounds like.
And I was never wildly out of control in 1995. I mean, that I remember anyway.
Uh-oh. Yeah. So you could have visited any number of chill out rooms.
There were a lot of beer bongs in 1995.
Yeah.
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 That was the year I
Me too.
graduated from high school.
Yeah.
So
I was 4. Or about to turn 4. Yeah. It's 3.
what did you so this is our second Massive Attack.
Yeah, it
Because
is.
we had Mezzanine a while back, and I enjoyed Mezzanine.
I loved Mezzanine. Yeah.
Did you like this one more or less?
I think that the highlights of this one were bigger. Like there were a couple songs that I really, really loved on this one.
Yeah.
That I seriously loved. Like, there's one 5-star and there's a 4-star. And I feel very strongly about those songs. Maybe as a whole, I think maybe I had more stars on Mezzanine. Maybe I was just kind of impressed as the album as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Because what was the big song on Mezzanine? There was one really. You don't have to dig back. Sorry, I wasn't sure if you knew it off the top of your head. I can look it up too.
Well, I know that I mean, I feel like Mezzanine was like 300, like 380.
A while ago. I'm gonna pull it up because there's
That was
Teardrop.
That
right?
was the quad pod.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Teardrop, I think, is a really famous song, right?
Yes. I
Yeah.
think so.
But anyways, this one's really good. The very top of this album for me, my favorite song is "Be Thankful for What You Got." What did you think about that one?
Oh, I dug it.
I really loved that one. The chorus on that, the dun 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 dun. Yeah, I mean it's hard to.
Did you ever go back and listen to the original?
Like the sample of it, or what? Like what?
That's so that whole thing was a cover, right? Like that whole all the vocals and everything that was lifted from the original song by William Devon. And I never went back and listened to the OG version of it, mostly just because I thought this was fucking dope. Like I love the beat behind it. Loved it a lot.
I love it. I love the bass line. I made a lot of notes throughout this album on the bass and like the drum parts. I mean, the bass line on "Safe from Harm" right away. That
so dubby, dude. It's so dubby.
So in your face too.
Yeah,
you know?
it's so dubby and it's so thick. But then you also get the vocals from what was her name? Man, Shara Wilson. Shara Wilson was the vocals on "Safe from Heaven," and her vocals are.
She's on multiple songs.
So
right?
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's in the band, right?
No.
Okay.
She was just like a featured vocalist. And on the second song, that was like a super duper popular reggae vocalist on that one, on One Love. And he appears again later on
Him and the Big Wheel.
Him and the Big Wheel.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Horace, that one.
Horace Andy is the name of the vocalist that was featured on that.
Yeah.
I did like that one. I really liked Lately. I like Lately a lot. I like Daydreaming. Like both of those, I put 3 stars next to.
Daydreaming is fun.
The most stars that I put was from Safe from Harm, and that was 4 stars. But I did put 3 next to 5 Man Army, Daydreaming, Lately, One Love. A couple stars next to Be Thankful for What You Got. A couple stars next to Him and the Big Wheel.
most songs have one or two. I mean, actually, yeah, most songs have one or two stars on this one.
Yeah.
Be thankful for what you got. I put 5 on that. I
Wow.
really felt very strongly about that one.
God damn,
Yeah.
you did.
On Hymn of the Big Wheel. Those are my 2 highlights,
Nice.
far and away.
Yeah, mine. I mean, it's hard. Safe from Heaven is definitely my highlight, but then I have like this whole bevy of songs that to me fell right underneath. And a lot of them were the more dub heavy songs. I like the stuff that Tricky was rapping on because basically all of the rap that you hear on here was from Tricky. Tricky was a member of the band, and he went on to have like a pretty big production career and rapping. Like he released a ton of albums on his own too, but produced a bunch of shit. What do you think about 241 on this though? What do you think about the placement of it? What do you think about there being 2 Massive Attack albums on this list? What do you think?
I
Like,
think maybe Massive Attack was a band that is just hugely important that I didn't necessarily fully embrace before this. I like them. I
They're
do dig
definitely-
Massive Attack.
they're definitely like the grandpops of EDM,
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
right?
Like you love electronic music. And I
Totally
love a lot of
fucking
it
love
too. Like a lot of that would not be the same. I'm not saying it wouldn't exist, but it wouldn't necessarily have developed exactly the same way as it did without these guys.
Well, and to be super clear, like this music follows in the same vein. Like this, all of this kind of ambient trip hop electronica music that came about in the early to mid 90s, that was I was in high school. That's when I was graduating from high school. That's when I went into the Marine Corps. And that was like a huge part of the soundtrack of like that era of my life.
This band was
No, not the band, but the sound.
just the sound. Did you not know
Yeah.
this band back then?
No, I never listened to Massive Attack. I never listened to him. But I hear Portishead all over this record, especially in Safe from Harm, where you get like that feminine vocal over the top of like a super dubby, heavy based track. That is the recipe for Portishead.
Yeah.
And Portishead is like the gold standard to me for trip hop.
trip hop. Yeah.
You know, like I can't wait to get to
I think
Dummy.
most people, yeah.
I can't wait to get to Dummy. But it also makes me think about a band like the Sneaker Pimps that was doing like this weird combination of kind of DJ electronica, trip hoppy type trance music that I really love the Sneaker Pimps too. And so there's this whole, and then even Garbage, because after Garbage's first record, Garbage started to bring in a lot of like more experimental type of
Electronic
synthy sounds. Yeah.
borderline.
And it was like where electronica met alternative. And their second album, Garbage 2.0, that to me is where they bring those two genres together the hardest. And I really, really love it because I love just the way that they create the sounds that sound like this record. And
Yeah.
even though I wasn't into this record, I'm into it. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
For sure.
I wasn't into it back in the
Back
day,
then.
but I'm into it because I loved other stuff
All the stuff that
that
was
obviously drew from this.
big time. When did Portishead come out?
I think Dummy came out in 1991.
So did this.
No, 1994.
94.
So, dude, it's fucking 3 years after.
So definitely influenced by.
Fuck, absolutely. But there's no way Dummy exists without this record. I'm going to say it right now.
Not in the same vein, at least.
There's no fucking way. Especially because this was British, right? This was like born out of the British club scene where they just twisted what the British club scene was already doing. And that's where Portis said, yeah, there's no way Dummy ever gets made without this record.
Yeah.
And from that standpoint alone, however, I do love the fact that that's one that they got right? The derivative
is higher.
is placed higher than the source. So they
If it's
fucking
better.
nailed it.
In this case, it is, right? But it's not always better,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah.
I mean, it's not always better.
Like the Drake Kanye thing. I mean, that's hard. They're both shit. But
But I wish that I could see more of that on this list where we see not just the source, but the derivative and the source. And then let's really weigh these things out and let's say it. Like if the derivative is better, let's
give it that credit. Yeah.
let's give it the credit because that's evolution, right? And the
That's
point
why
of
we exist.
evolution is to get better
Yeah.
at not dying or get better at whatever.
Get better at making better music.
Yeah, get better at making better
Take a
music.
specific pigeonhole that you found and refine it.
Yeah, make
So-
it even better. Make it yours.
I agree.
What do you want to do with it? Like in terms of placement?
Honestly, I'm cool with both the Massive Attacks being on here. Maybe
Are
I'm
you?
crazy, but I think I'd probably. Where do we say Mezzanine was roughly? Did we say
370.
that's okay? And I'd probably drop this one down a little bit, to be honest. I'd probably drop
25,
this down to
25 to 50.
not hugely, yeah, something like that. That you would be on that?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it being here too, only now after doing some research and realizing that this was really the first
First trip hop,
right? Like this
100%.
was the one. Knowing that this was the one that started it all, I might make a harder push to say no, don't move it. Leave it exactly where it's at because I love the genre. But that's gonna be super biased on me because I do love the genre.
because you just
Yeah.
fair. Okay, Rex Todd.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about this one. It's good background music, great melding of R&B and beats. The track Lately, when she hits the high note, makes her sound like she just pulled a hamstring. Should this be on the list? Yes, in the 400s, not 240.
Rex Todd, you almost got a spit take right there.
I know I almost didn't read that line because you were drinking. I was like, oh shit. But then I just went for it. Sorry, dude. I apologize. So yeah, I mean, he wants it on the list. He wants it lower.
That's cool.
Yeah. I'm
I
not going to
would-
hate you for that.
I would dig finding either Mezzanine or this one on vinyl.
I'd buy them both.
And I'd probably pick them both up.
Yep.
Because they're unique enough unto themselves. Like, because each album is definitely doing something a little bit different, but I dig them both.
Yeah.
Dig 'em both a
Absolutely.
lot.
Yeah, they're very different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mezzanine is maybe even more electronic,
More electronic and I think darker.
Yeah, definitely darker. Yeah. Brooding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Should we preview next week?
Absolutely.
We got more of your guy coming up. Sam Cooke.
I love Sam Cooke.
Yeah, I love him too.
Have you listened to this yet?
Yes. Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
I did the other day too. And I did. This is definitely a conversation for next week. But one of the things that I want you to think about is the other Sam Cooke album that we had was an anthology. So if you're going to do an anthology, why have the live album?
Yeah.
Or if you're going to have this live album that has the bangers,
All the
and it
songs.
has the bangers in a way where he's performing it and you get to hear all of the interaction between him and the crowd because it's a show, why put the anthology
So drop the anthology, leave the live.
for next week?
You'll have to tune in next week.
That's called a tease, folks. All right. After that, we're going to talk about number 239, 1987, Boogie Down Productions record, Criminal Mind. If you're not familiar with Boogie Down Productions, it's KRS-One, friends. Yeah.
I'm not. So that'll be
Ooh,
fun.
Fuck yeah.
238, we have Kraftwerk, Trans Europe Express.
Have you done any craft work?
No.
I've never done any craft work either. Are you afraid?
I think you're not going to like it for some reason.
I think I'm going to fucking hate it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go into it. I don't want to go into it that predisposed, but I'm really
I'm pretty
terrified
sure
I'm
of
going to
that.
fucking
Yeah.
hate it.
We'll see.
237.
Ooh.
Yeah, super excited about this. Willie Nelson from 1975, Redheaded Stranger. That's a fun, good concept album.
Does that have Blue Eyes Crying on it?
Yes.
I think it
I
might.
think that's like the third or fourth track, I think, right? Did you find it yet?
No, I wasn't looking it up.
Bastard.
Sorry. I'll wait though. If you're already doing it.
I am. Come on. I can't spell. Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. Track number 5.
That's a beautiful song.
I know.
Incredible country song. 236, we have Daft Punk, our second Daft Punk discovery.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, spoiler alert. We should swap these two.
Yeah.
I love Random Access Memories so much.
And I think we were talking back then whether we were going to see this or not. And I
Whether-
think we assumed we weren't going
We
to.
didn't think that we were going to because
Yeah.
there was no way in my mind that Random Access Memories would be ranked.
Would be below.
Would be
Yeah.
lower than Discovery.
So he goes back to the derivative thing. And like, even though they're of themselves, you know,
Yes.
like this album maybe was more.
Discovery fucking rips, dude.
Yeah.
If it's been a minute since you listened to it, whew.
I never listened to the whole thing through. I mean, I know I know a lot of the songs.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
know.
you'll know the songs that you know, but
I've never sat down and done Discovery all the way through.
in classic Daft Punk fashion, though, like when you go through the whole thing, you're gonna be like, "What the fuck? Like, why did I not listen to this whole thing before?"
Yeah,
because it's good.
Because it goes together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's such a jam.
So that's a good week coming up.
And
I'm looking ahead. Oh man, the week after that is pretty solid.
Super solid. In fact, we might try and get friend of the show Lee Stamper on for the week after that.
Yeah, if he's listening.
There's some weird ones. Okay, we gotta stop.
I'm still going. Oh, 225.
Listen, in no particular order, like some gems that we have come
Off,
Black
yeah.
Album from Metallica. So if you're into metal, like there's a fucking great metal episode that's not too far down the road.
Have we already had a De La Soul?
No. So we got into metal. Like there's a fucking great metal episode that's not too far down the road.
Have we already had a De La Soul?
No. So we got De La Soul coming up. Derek and the Imagine
Is coming up.
Fucking self-titled Rage Against the Machine is coming up. There's
Damn, dude.
so many bangers, dude. So many. Deja Vu from
Deja
Crosby,
Vu.
Stills, Nash and Young.
Raekwon.
Chef Raekwon. Okay, let's stop.
All right, we're done. We're not
So
gonna look
seriously,
anymore.
like super good stuff coming up. So
I did look one more. Actually, I got to say one more because
All right.
maybe I'm going to ask my barber to be on the guest.
Do it. What is it?
It's Oasis. He's fucking obsessed with Oasis. It's definitely maybe.
It's not What's the Story, Morning Glory, but
That's probably higher.
it fucking better well be higher. If they have definitely maybe on here, come the fuck on.
I'm pretty sure it's higher.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
spun that
we got to
record.
stop looking though.
I spun that record tonight.
You did?
Yeah.
Which definitely maybe or the other?
No,
one?
What's the Story, Morning
Yeah.
Glory? Yeah. Such a great record.
Cool. Thank you guys.
Right.
Thanks for
Yeah.
tuning in.
Mm-hmm.
We love you.
Yeah, we love you. Talk to you next week.
We will see you next week.
See you real soon. Bye-bye.
This list sucks. This list sucks. This list sucks. This list sucks. It sucks.
Fun.